Just like that. Right, okay, there we are. So here we are. We're into September now. Yes, it's September the what 4th,
Yep.
and there are all these strange people in my living room. What are you all doing here? Right. Anyway, it started raining up here again. Now I think it's been raining at the coast. So we're going to kick off for a change tonight. Instead of me, we're going to have Mike. So here we go, Mike. Straight into it. Rock and roll.
Okay. Yeah, it's pouring down here. Absolutely pouring down. This first song is a Dylan song, written in 1963. I was surprised to learn it was never released as a single in America. It was released as a single over here, but not in America. In fact, I've still got the single. And
Have you got anything to play it on?
no, I haven't. No, I've got a whole bag full of 45s and nothing to play them on. I've got some LPs as well and nothing to play them on. My last record player died of death about 3 or 4 years ago now. Dylan's lyrics for this song actually the handwritten lyrics were auctioned for $422,000 a few years ago. $422,000. It's the times that are changing, it's called. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changing. From writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. Don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that is naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who is stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. He'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Get out a new one if you can lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse is cast. The slow one now will later be fast. The present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now for the times they are a-changing. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam. Admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing.
Oh, that's got you in Andrew Pritchard's good books for a start, hasn't it?
It is a good song. It still stands up as well, doesn't it, after all this time? It's good. It's a good song.
Traditional song now, isn't it? That it's how many years old? Must be traditional. Eh?
How many years? 37, 57 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
57
traditional.
years, yeah. I was a young stripling when that came out. 17 years old. Anyway. The second song is about a servant girl who it happened fairly regularly actually. She was taken advantage of by the men in the house, and because she was a lowly servant, she couldn't do anything about it. If she complained,
surely not.
that's right. If she complained, she was sacked. If she was sacked, she'd never get another job. And if she didn't complain, she got pregnant, she was sacked, and she'd never get another job. So she was in a bit of a predicament really. But the girl in this song actually does get pregnant. It's very sad. It's called The Month of January. It was in the month of January, the hills all clad with snow, and o'er the hills and valleys with my love I did go. 'Twas there I met a fair young maid with a salt tear in her eye. She had a baby in her arms, and bitter did she cry. Cruel was my father who barred the door to me, and cruel was my mother that dreadful deed to see, and cruel was my own true love that he changed his mind for gold, and cruel was the winter wind that pierced my heart with cold. The taller that a pine tree grows, the sweeter is the bark, and the sweeter that a young man speaks, the falser is his heart. For he'll kiss you and embrace you till he thinks he has you won. Then he'll go away and leave you all for some other one. So come all you fair and handsome girls, a warning take by me, and never seek to build your nest up in a higher tree, for the green leaves they will wither, and the branches will decay, and the beauty of your own true love will surely fade away. It was in the month of January, o'er the hills all clad snow. And o'er the hills and valleys with my love I did go. 'Twas there I met a fair young maid with a salt tear in her eye. She had a baby in her arms, and bitter did she cry.
I like that.
Thank you very much.
That was fab. Really good. The moral of the story was be born wealthy.
Keep your knickers on.
Yeah. But preferably be born into money.
Yeah.
How's the weather down in Stoke there, Alice? It's,
Not too bad. Been
it's,
a little bit breezy last few days.
it's just gone bloody awful here this last half hour. It's we're up in the hills and it's chucking it down. It's dark. It's miserable.
No, nothing like that yet.
And Mike said it was raining down on the coast as well. So
All right, it'll be on its way. Be
Yeah,
coming
but-
inland, won't it, soon?
right, there's a few. Oh, Goal is here as well. Karen's here.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, and we've got Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins there.
Yeah.
Hello. Good evening.
Evening all. Have you been practicing anything? Are we still going to have to wait a bit longer?
Well, we went looking in the saddlebag,
Oh, mute.
and there at the bottom, we actually sort of dusted something off, didn't we? We found something.
Well, a couple of things.
A couple of things. Yes.
What do you want to? I mean, you could spread them out. Do one this week, one next week.
Well, we have a note. We have a note here. We're not going to be here for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
So
Oh no.
I have a piece of paper for Mr. Hitler job, is it?
so
Right. Okay. We can do one first half, one second half then.
sounds fair enough to us.
If that is okay, I will put you in after the gaffer.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
That's too big an act to follow.
Can't follow the gaffer.
No.
We're
No,
not
you'll
really. We're not
you'll
really.
be up to it. Right. Okay, but for the minute, we have Stuart. Where is Stuart? There. Where's Stuart? Right, Stuart doesn't have a microphone or anything, so he's just going to thrash it. Oh, he's got a gob iron as well.
Oh, aye.
Oh, everything. Has he got backing vocals from Edna?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd just finished, wouldn't it? Everyone would go.
Yeah.
There'd be no one in me gallery.
Well, I've got a Nick, Mr. Warburton's Donovan material, and
So good job he's not here.
Mike Hawkins's voice, if that's all right. See how we get on.
Yeah, we'd all like a piece of that.
In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your love and mine. To feel you all around me, and to take your hand along the sand. Now that I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown pales the sky, I wanna hide a while behind your smile. And everywhere I look, your eyes I find. For me to love you now would be the sweetest thing. It would make me sing. Ah, but I may as well try and catch the wind. as hunger leads with tears, I want you near to kill my fears, to help me to leave all my blues behind. Or standing in your heart where I want to be, want to be. I've been amazed for trying to catch the wind. I've been amazed for trying to catch the wind.
Yay! Hey, yes!
Oh,
Well done there, that man. Well done, that man.
Thank you.
he's got another one.
Does it sound all right, or does it sound like,
Does it sound
you know,
crap?
like I'm frying
No,
bacon?
no, it's. I mean, to say you've got no microphone, it's pretty good there. If you could maybe get, if you could get an inch near, it might help. But don't move anything. Don't move your kit. Be all right. Just go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We stood in the windy city, the gypsy boy and I. We slept on the breeze in the midnight, with the rain running tears in our eyes. And who's going to be the one to say it was no good what we done? I dare man to say I'm too young, for I'm going to drive for the sun. We huddled in the derelict building, and when he thought I was asleep, he laid his poor coat round his shoulder and shivered there beside me in a heap. And who's going to be the one to say it was no good what we done? I dare a man to say I'm too young, for I'm going to try for the sun. We sang and cracked the sky with laughter, our breath turned to mist in the cold. Our years put together counted 30, but our eyes told the dawn that we were old. And who's going to be the one to say it was no good what we done? I dare a man to say I'm too young, for I'm going to try for the sun.
No.
Mirror, mirror, hanging in the sky,
Push it.
won't you look down what's happening here below? I stand here into the flowers, so very few people really know. And who's going to be the one to say it was no good what we done? I dare a man to say I'm too young, for I'm going to try for the sun. Hey, this how
Yes. Oh, your page turner is absolute crap first.
I couldn't see it.
It's got the sack.
Yeah. Absolute rubbish. You can't get the staff, can you?
No.
Yeah. Oh, great. That was lovely.
Brilliant,
Stuart.
Stu.
Thank you.
Yeah, get practicing some more for next week, Stuart.
Okay, well, we'll do. We'll do.
So, yeah.
That's
Right.
it.
We've got no Alan tonight. He's in York and he doesn't seem to have any internet. So I take it that that's going to be the same next week as well. But we're not just sure where he is or what he's doing at the minute. So Right, we will move on to Davith and B.
Yeah.
You're,
Good evening.
Yeah.
you're unmuted.
Let's go back
So-
to.
You said on Facebook, Davith, that you were a bit disappointed with somebody's violin piece last night.
Oh,
We
gosh.
thought Leslie might have perhaps had a go to make up for it, but she hasn't done.
Yeah, I just thought Nicola Benedetti deserved.
That would have been a
better
disappointing violin piece. So what have you got for us tonight then, Davith?
Right, we've both got something. I've been ordered to start so that I can be upstaged afterwards, you see. So,
Yeah, goes without saying.
yeah, so let's see how it goes. Now, this is a piece which I'm going to read a translation of into English first, and then read it in Welsh. It's a small part of an awdl, which is a long piece in poetry, all in very strict alliteration. It's by Gerallt Lloyd Owen, who in 1982, which was the centenary, 7th centenary of the Prince of Wales being, Llywelyn ap Gruffydd being killed by the English. And he wrote this awdl called Clwb, which is the place where the killing happened. And I will first of all read this in English. Tears are the weapon of indifference. With the book of his memory, the coward loves the safety of a day of mourning. The civilized man will call to mind his race's past and weep with one he has never seen, and remember him as his contemporary. The civilized man will proclaim the time that worlds come to an end. Our memory is here, our place of covenant, and that place of covenant is Kilmary, near Bilthwells. Our place of covenant is this granite stone, the old stone of our essence, embracing us with its shadow against the destruction of the long end, which is endless existence. In the stone's dream is the freedom of the moment. Within its cold slab is the precious death, which stands for all ages as an anchor for our land in the sea of silent non-entity. This is the stone of our patience, the stone of our life at the place of our grave. From its being we draw its sustenance, from its shape we inherit our grief, and it is our shawl against the deadly arrowhead. And in Welsh, you'll notice that the alliteration is even stronger here. Dagrau yw arf y cleiar. A llyfrau gof, llwfr a gar ddiogelwch dydd galar. Dawn y gwar yw dwyn I go echto I hil a chyd wylo ar un nas gwelodd erioed. A'i gofio fel ei gyfoed. Dawn y gwar yw nodi'n goedd adeg a diwedd bydoedd. Mae ein cof yma, ein man cyfamod ydy'r gwenithfaen. Hyn fain ein hanfod I wein gwasgu, a'i gysgod rhag anfaith y diwedd llyrfaith. Y byw
di-ddarfod. Ymroeddwyd ymlaen, mae'n rhyddid y munud, yn rhem oer ei drwch, y mae'r marw drud, a saif i'r oesau hefyd yn angor i'n deiar. Y môr ydy ddymdra'n myd. Hwn yw mae'n ein hamynedd. Mae'n ein byw, y man ein bedd, o'i fod y signwn ei fath, o'i osgedd ei gynhysgaeth i'n gala, a rhag farwol ni y saeth ef yw ein siôl. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you. Right. And
You see, I didn't know when it was going to end then.
no. Right. No, I didn't pull the right face.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I've only lived here for, 43 years. Right, what's B got? I did prefer the English
300
version.
lines long. You'll have to have it interspersed with a ring cycle one evening, I think. Anyway, B has a lovely piece that she's written here.
Come on then, Gil. Give it your best. Glasses on.
Yes, to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a poem called, very simply, Dad. A little girl is swinging on a garden gate, waiting for you to come home, hoping you won't be too late to read her Rupert Bear before she goes to bed. A tousled urchin is up and dressed in welly boots, hat and coat, to find you ready at the door with rods and nets to catch the fish. As the dawn sky blushes into day, her hand in yours, she boards the boat. A young woman stands shyly aside, unsure, timid, overwhelmed. She turns and sees the pride in your eyes, then steps up boldly to receive her prize. She looks at photos of your wedding day, two lovelorn kids with hopes and fears, you in uniform, soon off to fight, your beautiful bride smiling behind her tears. A woman by the window is numb with sorrow, as slowly death beats its snare drum. Through the ups and downs, you wove your song. Without you, the silence is loud and hollow. And now, your lovely bride has also left the dance, her ashes cast upon the seething sea, to float, searching for you tirelessly, through the ebb and flow of eternity.
Oh, Leslie was just saying you paint beautiful pictures. They are just lovely. And when Davith was doing the Welsh section, it was interesting looking around the faces on the gallery. And I would guess that Carl is a Welsh speaker, are you?
No, I'm not actually, John.
Oh, no, you look like you were sort of on the edge of your seat,
Yeah, well, I was
by
trying-
every word.
I did catch quite a few of the words because over the years you you have a dab, you try and learn the language, don't you? I wish I could speak Welsh. I certainly know an awful lot of it, but not enough to get engrossed in a conversation. If I'm doing all the talking, I'm not too bad because I just use the words I know. But,
Just like me with French, actually. Yeah.
But, yeah, well, it's God's own language, isn't it? So we should make an effort. I'm surprised, John, after 40 years, you have not picked it up.
I've got a few bits. A gory geg, kind of geg.
He's a
all I
good
needed.
dentist. He's a bilingual dentist, clearly.
Yeah. That's all I needed. Yeah. Right. And we have got all the way from Northumberland again. We have got Phil again. Lovely, lovely to see him. We really enjoyed his stuff.
Well, thank you very much.
last
Having
week.
me.
He still hasn't got any curtains in his kitchen.
No. This is the garage, actually. Not the kitchen.
Bloody hell, what sort of car have you got, man?
Well, you can't get the car in here anymore. We converted it. But it's still a bit bare, which is why it's a bit echoey, I'm afraid.
Well, I've got a garage you can't get a car in, but only because it's full of other stuff.
Well, it was like that in here, unfortunately. Yeah.
Right, what have you got for us tonight then, Phil?
Right, okay. Is somebody muted? Yeah. I had a friend who, unfortunately, not for a very long time, he moved up here, I think in 2016, and he died in November 18, unfortunately, very suddenly as well. But I nicked loads and loads of songs off him, actually. And what I'll do is one of the songs that I wasn't written by him, I nicked off him, and it's written by a guy called Andy Hill, who I don't really know at all. But the version I have, I got from this guy called Graham Easton, who was this friend of mine. And you've got to imagine you're in the Dales, down in the Yorkshire Dales, Durham Dales. You stood on top of a hill and you're looking down across the valley at all the stone walls that make a sort of pattern in the valley below. I am the tailor of the Dales. I work in any weather. I make a patchwork of the land, and I sew it all together. My cloth is pasture, moor and field, and rough stone is my friend. I build my 7 yards a day, then weary home I tread. Here's the chorus. Give me a line and bring me stone, and good cheese for my bread. I build my 7 yards a day, and weary home I tread. There is no hill can turn my line, a steady course I follow. I build across the rugged fell, across becks and stravey hollows. Lime and mortar are no use to me, a dry stone man. My walls will stand 300 years. I build to nature's plan. So give me a line and bring me stone, and good cheese for my bread. I build my 7 yards a day, then weary home I tread. When winter comes, the snow will drive me from my normal toil, then like the mole go underground beneath the frozen soil. Down in the mines I'll break my back to dig for silvery lead. For 'tis my lot in this hard life to keep my family fed. So give me a line and bring me stone, and good cheese for my bread. I build my 7 yards a day, weary home I tread. In spring and summer I enjoy the fruits of Mother Earth, high skylarks and sweet meadow flowers, and good lambs at their birth, young children laughing in the dale, and sunshine on my head. I build my my 7 yards a day, then weary home I tread. So give me a line and bring me stone and good cheese for my bread. I build my 7 yards a day, weary home I tread. 'Cause I am the tailor of the dales, I work in any weather, I make a patchwork of the land, and sew it all together. My cloth is pasture, moor and field, and rough stone is my friend. I build my 7 yards a day, then weary home I tread. So give me a line and bring me stone and good cheese for my bread. I build my 7 yards a day, weary home I tread. Come over, all right?
Yeah, that's more lovely pictures painted there.
Yeah, it's a nice song, isn't it? I say I don't know who the chap is that's that wrote it. I think he's called the Bard of Earsby, I think. He's Andy Hill, he's called.
How are your clubs? You're affiliated with a few clubs up there, are
Well, I
they?
run one at Alston, which is up in the hills. Alston's the highest market town in England, so whenever you go there, you always sing about half a tone semitone higher because the air's so thin. Yeah, so I run that, and it's still going all right. I mean, it was very thriving at one time. It's dropped off a little bit, but the thing is with the Zoom stuff, we've lost some local people, and a lot of technophobia type people have disappeared off the radar a bit. But then a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't come to Alston turn up now. We get people from Lincoln, all over the place. Last from Berwick-on-Tweed comes along. So it makes it a bit different, but it's great.
Yeah, it's just nice to see and to hear some.
In Cumbria, just this side of Carlisle, is the other one that I'm involved with primarily, which is another very similar sing-along club, just like yours is, really. I don't not as long as yours, isn't it?
It's nice to hear different songs.
Yeah, I know.
You go down the club every week, and okay, you try and drag them out as much as you can, leave them a good few months between, but after a few years, you think, oh, I've heard this a few times.
Yes, I know.
But what I think I certainly miss is the chorus singing.
Yes,
I mean, you can join in at home, but it's not the same as having a room full of people belting it out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would like to do Sammy's Bar, but it's only any good if people join in the refrain lines. You know, it sounds silly if you're just singing it to yourself.
Oh, Mike doesn't have that problem.
No,
no, Mike knocks that out on a regular basis.
Yeah. Okay, well, I talked about Graham Easton, this friend of mine, and this is a song what he wrote, actually, what I nicked off him. Although I have to say he didn't write the original. And I hope it goes alright, because I'm not that good with it, actually. It's got some nasty chords in it, anyway. Oh, I should say this dates back to days. If you can remember last time you went to a pub, which is now a long time ago probably, right? But remember a lot further back, it's the days when it used to be 10:30 closing. In fact, I lived in Scotland at one time when it was 10 o'clock closing. Of course, we used to get the door bolted, usually with a local copper in as well, and have a lock in, right? Which is a bit of a background to the song. I thought I'd better say that before I started. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Got a lock in once again. Only came here for a couple of beers. Once again, it's going to end in tears. For when I got home, my watch said 3:30. I've got no key. Tomorrow I'll get the sound of silence. She said, what time do you call this? I said, 2:30, knocked an hour off as you do. Sleep on the sofa, it was her suggestion. I suppose a leg over is out of the question. And she slammed the door and went straight back to bed, saying drop dead. Tomorrow I'll get the sound of silence. I went to bed and lay quite still, the curry fighting with the swill. Got to the toilet just in time to die. When I woke up I just had to cry, for the face in the mirror reflected a guilty man. I'd missed the pan. Tomorrow I'll get the sound of silence. Then the morning comes. She started hoovering round me bed, like a chainsaw in me head. I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to fight. Once again she said her mother was right. And she opened a knickers drawer, and what did she see? I'd done a wee. I'll get the sound of silence. This month I'll get the sound of silence.
Yeah!
Oh, only for a month. God, I'd get a year's worth.
Yeah. Actually, if you go on YouTube and look for Graham Easton, I think posthumously he is actually still there singing that somewhere on YouTube.
Oh.
Much better than I do it. He does it properly.
Yeah, I'll just write that Graham
Easton, E-A-S-T-H-A-M.
Right.
He was a lovely chap. He was a paramedic, an ambulance driver at one time in his life. And he tells a story about him and his mate used to jam in the ambulance when there was not much going on. And one day they picked a stiff up from a nursing home somewhere, and obviously drove leisurely back, went round a bend, and his guitar fell off and made a great big clanging noise, and the guy jumped up. It's like Lazarus.
Right,
It's told at his funeral anyway. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea.
Yeah, because when you were singing that, I thought we're recording this, but it goes to Alan, and if he's not got any internet or he's only got poor internet, the chances are this recording might not see the light of day. And I thought, bugger, I was going to nick that song.
Well, look for the YouTube version.
Right, Gwyn.
Graham's name, because he was a smashing chap. He was a really nice guy. And I say he died very suddenly, unexpectedly. On the night of the Folk Club, actually. One of his mates went round to find out why he hadn't turned up, and he was dead on the floor. Sad.
God, that happened to Ted.
A depressing note to end on, sorry.
Same sort of thing. It just suddenly went. Right, Gwyn.
I unmuted. There we are.
You have sound.
Right, okay. I'm sorry I wasn't with you last week because, as I've told several people, my daughter and her entourage arrived at the last minute, and I was responsible chief cook and bottle washer. So that's why I wasn't with you. You'll know, regulars to the club will know my love for John Betjeman. Now then, he's intriguing to me because he's English and he's very avuncular, and he writes in a very conventional, straight way, but what he writes about is very, very icy, more dangerous in many ways than many of the revolutionary poets. And this is one called Sun and Fun. It's the song of a nightclub proprietress. And this elderly lady is turning up at her club and reflecting on her life. I walked into the nightclub in the morning. There was cumul on the handle of the door. The ashtrays were unemptied, the cleaning unattempted, and a squashed tomato sandwich on the floor. I pulled aside the thick magenta curtains. So Regency, my dear. And a host of little spiders ran a race across the ciders to a box of baby pollies by the beer. Oh, sun upon the summer-going bypass, where everything is speeding to the sea, and wonder beyond wonder that here where lorries thunder, the sun should ever percolate to me. When Boris used to call in his sedan car, when Teddy took me down to his estate, when my nose excited passion, when my clothes were in the fashion, and my bows were never cross if I was late. There was sun enough for lazing upon beaches. There was sun enough for far into the night. But I'm dying now and done for. What on earth was all the fun for? For I'm old and ill and terrified and tight. Betjeman, yep, he's absolutely unbelievable. He was asked.
I can say without fear of contradiction that everybody in the club always loves you, Betjeman.
Yes. He was asked at the end of his life in an interview what he regretted about life, and he meditated a moment and said, I'd never had enough sex. It's a good one. Now then, riding around the country in the car, visiting people again at last, I've been listening to a double CD I was given, a tribute to Guy Clark. And again, a million thanks for giving it to me. And along with the Guy Clark, I've had a number of CDs I burnt from vinyl. And it's the car's the only place I've got to play these things at the moment because all the other machinery's gone bust. And one of the albums I've got is by a group that was massive in the 70s called Little Feat. I trust you'll know Lowell George's Little Feat. Now, I can't do his slide guitar work and I can't have the rhythm backing. But here's the title track of one of their hit LPs called Dixie Chicken. Seen the bright lights of Memphis and the Commodore Hotel, when underneath the street lamp I met a southern belle. She took me to the river where she cast her spell, and underneath the moonlight she sang her song so well. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb, and we can walk together down in Dixieland, down in Dixieland. We made all the high spots, my money flowed like wine, till that low-down southern whiskey began to fog my mind. I don't remember wedding bells or the money I put down on the white picket fence and the boardwalk on the house on the edge of town. But boy, do I remember the sound of her refrain, the nights we spent together, and the way she called my name. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb, and we can walk together down in Dixieland, down in Dixieland. It's been a year since she ran away. Yes, that guitar picker sure could play. Always liked to sing a song. She always liked to sing along. And then one night in the lobby of the Commodore Hotel, I chanced to meet a bartender who said he knew her well. And as he handed me a light, he began to hum a song. And all the boys sitting in the bar began to hum along. If you be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb, and we can walk together down in Dixieland. There we go, Dixie chicken. It's lovely when you re-find the old ones. It's great in the car because Barbara does the driving and I get to sit there, and I hate driving and I love being a passenger, and I get control of the CD player and I can just wang these things on, and it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
It's not so bad if you can get a car with a CD player. They stop making them these days.
Ah, well, this is the problem, yeah.
You've got to have all the sort of, Bluetooth sort of crap.
I used to buy cars with tape players in for years. The criteria for the vehicle it had a tape player, but even that's passed away now. Yeah.
You're going to tell me you've still got an 8-track?
No, I never got into 8-track. And unlike Alan, I didn't get into mini disc either. Just the C90s and the C60s. I got mountains of the things, and I'm loath to throw them away because there's some wonderful stuff. Radio programs I taped and stuff, which I'm digitalizing some of them slowly. There's a Joseph Spence tape, which is absolutely unbelievable. It's worth hearing. Yeah.
I've got hours and hours of stuff, and I have digitised quite a bit of it actually.
Yeah.
But then there's so much of it. Do I ever listen to any of it?
That's the problem. That's the exact problem. Yeah.
The trouble is, when you get to our age, you're running out of time, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, you can always run it faster, double the speed.
You go around people.
Life's like a bog roll. The nearer you get to the end, the faster it seems to run out.
You go around people's houses, like in my daughter's house, and you have a look around, and there's no books and there's no records, and that's how you used to judge people. You'd go to the bookshelf or go to the record shelf and say, "Ooh, they've got that, great." But now it's all on little machines now, which you can't see. A good trick is put your phone on the table, go to your music settings, and put it on shuffle, and see what comes up.
Is it Alexa?
Yeah.
Or shout Alexa to put one on.
Yeah. Oh, the blooming kids have got an Alexa. It's the end of life, I tell you. They fight over this bloody thing. I'm having Alexa tonight. No, you're not.
All my stuff on one of these.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
It's amazing what you keep in your head, though, isn't it?
Yes.
All the info you keep in your head. Amazing.
Yeah.
And it suddenly pops up when you least expect it.
You are T. Gwen. I'd love you on if we had a quiz. You'd be on my team.
Well, this is wonderful. Yeah.
Depends what the questions are on, doesn't it?
When we're sat at the back and I say, who's singing this? And it doesn't even have to think.
Yeah.
You know, when you say, who sang this, T. Gwerin? It was so-and-so. And he did it so-and-so in such a year.
Yeah.
He's just a mine of information.
The month in the year, possibly the day.
Was he right though, Edna?
Yes.
Or did he just say anybody?
He's never wrong, I tell you. You'd want him on your team.
It could just be spinning you a load of crap, man.
Oh, stop. Mike was mentioning that he had 45s. Well, I got mountains of 78s. I got a wind-up gramophone to play them on. It's absolutely incredible. And I've got mountains of 45s as well. They're worth listening to. Again, you know, they really are worth listening to. Yeah.
Right, I've noticed we've been joined by Ian, and I've noticed he was tuning a guitar.
Right.
So if you can, oh, you are unmuted, Ian.
Hang on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I take it that you would like to sing us a couple of songs tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't expect... I was just tuning in. Happy to do one. I just want to get my original sound on, which I've done.
Yeah, get your blue button on, boy.
When do you want me to do one?
Well, no, we'll give you 10 minutes. We'll give you 10 minutes.
Well, anytime you like.
We've got the Gaffer up next, and then we've got Chaz and Jan, and then if you can come in with a couple of songs after Chaz and Jan, that would be great, Ian.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Okie dokie. Right, so where's over there? We are.
Want a drink, Phil? Want a drink?
Oh, you are unmuted, Gaffer.
That's good to know. Righto. Do you mind if I stoop to the tradition occasionally?
You're a little bit quiet tonight.
Why, you should be relieved. Hang on. I'll amplify it by moving closer. How about that?
Right, well, I'm sure you'll be belting it out in a minute.
I'll have a bash. Here we go. It's a brisk young tailor. It's of a brisk young tailor. This story I'll relate. Who lived at an inn called the Lamb and the Gate. Oh, the Lamb and the Gate was a place where he did well. But one women's company loved exceeding well. Oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. Oh, wine and women's company loved exceeding well. Now this tailor's been drinking a glass or two of wine, and not being used to drink, it caused his face to shine. It caused his face to shine, just like the morning sun. He swore he'd have a pretty little maid before the night was done, 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 was done. He swore he'd have a pretty little maid before the night was done. So he takes one in his arms and calls her his sweet honey. And while he's fingering her, she's fingering his money. She's fingering his money when the tailor upped and said, if you lend me your pretty petticoat, I'll dance like a maid, 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 a maid. If you lend me your pretty petticoat, I'll dance like a maid. So the tailor took his breeches off and the petticoat he put on. Oh, the tailor danced the dance while the maid she sang a song. The maid she sang a song, 'twas such a pretty tune. And then she danced his breeches right out of the room. The room, the room, the room, the room, the room, the room, the room. And then she dances breeches right out of the room. Oh no, cried that poor tailor, I fear I am undone, for me watch and me money and me breeches are all gone. If I go outside dressed like this, they'll call me garden flower. If ever I get me breeches back, I'm never gonna dance no more, 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 no more. If ever I get me breeches back, I'm never gonna dance no more. Now just as this poor tailor his fortune did bewail, he noticed that his petticoat unravelled on a nail, unravelled on a nail. Stark naked there he stood, so he grabbed his hat down off the rack and he covered what he could. He could, he could, he could, he could, he could, he could, he could. He grabbed his hat down off the rack, covered what he could. Now things they went from bad to worse when the poor boy went outside. Every woman come from miles around and laughed until she cried. He said if you was ladies, you never would laugh like that. They said if you was a gentleman, then you'd have raised your hat, 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 your hat. They said if you were a gentleman, then you'd have raised your hat. There we go. Well, a bit traditional anyway.
Heard that song many times, Gaffer. Never heard it delivered like that.
I suppose I could do a romantic one.
Oh.
Yes, I'll do a romantic one. I think you've earned a romantic one after that, haven't you? I've always believed this song to be Irish, partly because the fellow in it is called Michael, and partly because the Irish are a nation of horse lovers. And I can't imagine a Welshman turning down a sheep, or Englishman turning down a servant girl, or a Scot settling for such a small dowry. So it must be Irish. Oh, I'll marry your daughter, Captain, if you give to me a house and land, a mare and a plough and a fine brown cow, and servants all at my command, a flock of sheep, some pigs and geese, and the finest dog in all the land. And you pay for the priest at the price of the feast. I'll take your daughter off your hands. You can marry me daughter, Michael, and I'll give to you a house and land, a mare and a plough and a fine brown cow, servants all at your command, a flock of sheep, some pigs and geese, and the finest dog in all the land. And I'll pay for the priest at the price of the feast, if you take me daughter off my hands. So I married the captain's daughter. He's a man of his word and he did not fail. I was the happiest man in all the land until I lifted up her veil. For when I gazed upon her face, for beauty none could her excel. Apart from the cow and the mare and the plough, and the sheep and the geese and the pigs as well. But I love your daughter, Captain, though not as much as the house and land, and it makes me feel important, having servants all at my command. You may have heard, I keep my word, my pledge, I'll keep, I do declare. So I kept me vow, hitched the missus to the plough, and I trotted up the bed with the old grey mare. There you go.
Yeah.
A little bit of bestiality, never did anyone any harm except the beast and the bestial. Yeah.
Oh. I see we've been joined by Mr. Killian.
Oh, rejoined.
Hello, yes you have.
Yeah.
A rather
You
drunken one.
You were very briefly with us earlier, then you sort of... how drunk are you, John? Are you too drunk to do anything?
Yeah, I think so, really. I'm here to listen rather than to participate.
That's okay. Well, and have you been celebrating anything in particular, or just the fact that you're still...
Remaining alive at my age is quite good, really.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We have now got another one from Chaz and Jan. We are all eagerly anticipating this.
The pressure.
The pressure. Do not raise your hopes, for goodness sake.
Yeah. No, our hopes are sky high, and we're just going to be disappointed that we might not hear it on the recording, but there we are.
Yes, going back to the days of the being station. When I first sort of turned up, one of the many delights was to see Dave Costello in full flow, doing John Martin or Christy Moore. So we're going to attempt a Christy Moore number, song instrument. So a cappella, I'm afraid. So you can picture this. In 1986, there's not much for a chippy or for filling the pig. You can't live on love and on love alone, so you sail across the ocean away across the foam. So where you're a paddy, a biddy or a mick, good for nothing but stacking the brick. And your best friend's a spade and he carries a heart, to work horses heavily shod. Oh, I'm missing you. I give all for the price of a bite. Oh, I'm missing you under Piccadilly's neon. Who did he murder, or are you a spy? I'm just fond of a drink, helps me laugh, helps me cry. Now I just drink red biddy for a permanent high. I'll laugh a lot less, I'll cry till I die. Oh, I'm missing you. I give all for the price of a bite. Oh, I'm missing you under Piccadilly's neon. All you young people, now take my advice. Before crossing the ocean, you better think twice. 'Cause you can't live without love alone. The proof's round the West End in the nobody zone, where the summer is fine, but the winter's a fridge, wrapped up in old cardboard under Charing Cross Bridge. And you'll never go home now because of the shame of the misfits' reflection in the shop window pane. Oh, I'm missing you. I give all for the price of a flight. Oh, I'm missing you under Piccadilly's neon. Oh, I'm missing you. I give all for the price of a flight. Oh, I'm missing you under Piccadilly's neon.
Oh, yes. Oh. proper harmonies there. Yeah. Well impressed.
Thank you.
So, have you got another one in the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sort of save you for the second half.
Okay.
That's fine.
Good.
So, that's lovely. We will look forward to that and put more pressure on in the second half. Right, and moving to Ian. And I think, where are you from, Ian? I'm sure I've seen you on Dragon's Breath, have I?
I just found you online. I come from Kent.
Oh.
Sevenoaks in Kent.
Oh. God, I think you're the most... we've got Philip in Northumberland.
Where are you? Where are you?
Well, North Wales. Well, I'm personally out in the sticks, about 600 feet up in the sky, inland from Abergele. But the club's actually based in Rhyl on the North Wales coast.
Well, I mean, the great thing about Zoom is you can zoom around, can't you?
Yeah.
And see if there's a welcome in the valleys or not.
Yeah, quite often about 9:30 we get a visitation from Natalia, who joins us from Moscow.
Wow.
So I don't know if she's going to be joining us tonight or not. Last week she read us a lovely poem, those of you here last week, which she'd written in English. Her English is absolutely marvellous, and I especially marvelled at her grasp of English that was such that she could rhyme the word right with shite. And you think that takes a little bit of doing. Right, what are you going to do for us tonight, Ian?
Yeah, well, what do I get? I didn't know I get a go, so I'll do a couple. Is it a couple or one?
If you can do two, well, I think looking at the time,
Yeah.
there's only me to come after you, and then we've all done twos, and then we'll go round again in ones, I think, second half.
I'll do a couple of quick ones then.
Oh, no, do quick, you know, so it's not, as long as it's not 30, 40 verses, do what you want.
My famous last words, laying around in tatters, sounding absurd. Whatever I try, but I love, that's all that really matters. This is goodbye. This is goodbye. The bright shining sun would light up the way before me. You were the one, made me feel I could fly. And I love whatever is waiting for me. This is goodbye. This is goodbye. Who knows how long we've got, or what we're made out of. Who knows if there's a plan or not. There is a love, I know. There is a love. Famous last words could never tell the story, spinning unheard in the dark of the sky. But I love, and this is our glory. This is goodbye. This is goodbye. This is goodbye. This is goodbye.
Oh, lovely stuff, lovely stuff. I was saying to Phil earlier, it's just so nice to hear songs you've not heard before.
See if you've heard this one. Traveling down our different roads, trying hard to leave the load. Take it there, but we can't let go. It's so hard to lay it down. Back in Eden we were trying, found ourselves dissatisfied, seeking wisdom that she denied, trying hard to lay it down. Lay it down, brother, lay it down. It's so hard to lay it down. Hide in me, confide in me. Don't you think it's time to be everything we try to be? You and me should lay it down. Speak to me, be unashamed. There's no need in playing games. After all, we're all the same, just trying to lay it down. Lay it down, brother, lay it down. It's so hard to lay it down. Wish my words could make it well. Wish that I could break the spell. Take us from our self-made hell. Find a way to lay it down. Burdened by the things I've learned, hurting 'cause I'm too concerned. Nonetheless, I confess I yearn. Find a way to lay it down. Lay it down, brother, lay it down. It's so hard to lay it down.
Lovely, lovely, Ian. Right, thank you for joining us tonight. I think I can say on behalf of everybody else, we've really enjoyed that tonight.
Well, thanks for letting me have a go. I can't stay long because my wife needs to get on the computer, but I'll stay around for as long as I can. But thank you very much for your welcome, most kind.
Okay. Right. Oh. Okay, this is where it all goes downhill. I'm going to do two that I hadn't intended doing tonight, because normally I kick off, get the shite out of the way first, sort of thing. But with Alan not being here tonight, we start off with Mike tonight, so I'm the last one of the first time rounders. So this is a Steve Earle song. Always going to get a smile from Andrew Pritchard. Not a happy little song. Billy Austin, I'm 29 years old. I was born in Oklahoma, Port of Cherokee, I'm told. Don't remember Oklahoma, seems so long since I left home. Seems like I've always been in prison, like I've always been alone. Never meant to hurt nobody, never thought I'd cross that line. I held up a filling station, just like I'd done 100 times. Kid done like I told him, he lay face down on the floor. Guess I'll never know what made me turn and walk back through that door. A shot ran out like thunder, my ears rang like a bell, but no one came a-running, so I called the cops myself. They took their time to get there, and I guess I could have run. I know I should be feeling something, but I never shed tear one. Didn't even make the papers, 'cause I only killed one man. But my trial was over quickly, and the long hard road began. The court-appointed lawyer couldn't look me in the eye. He stood up and closed his briefcase as they sentenced me to die. Now the waiting's over as the final hour drags by, and I ain't about to tell you that I don't deserve to die. There were 27 men here, most are black, brown and poor, and most of us are guilty. But can you know for sure? When the preacher comes to get me, they shave off all my hair. Won't you take that long walk with me, knowing hell is waiting there? Could you pull that switch yourself, sir, with a sure and steady hand? Can you tell yourself that you're better than I am? My name is Billy Austin, 29 years old. I was born in Oklahoma, quarter Cherokee, I'm told. Right, that was a cheerful one, wasn't it? Eh? Even by folk club standards, that was a bit of a slasher. Right, Eric Bogle song. Not one of your usual Eric Bogle songs. So what do you think of it? It's this was obviously written a few years ago before we'd heard of Donald Trump, because it's just written with him in mind, really. I'm going to have to do this in a Texan drawl. I've been hearing the voices for some time, rattling round inside this head of mine. Late last night, just before I went to bed, I was brushing my teeth when my toothbrush suddenly said, "That government there's a coming to take your gun. If you love freedom, you won't let 'em, son. Don't you need real men like you in times like these? We'll all be eating fried rice and speaking Chinese. Oh boy, you boy, you're the keeper of the flame. I tell you, fight boy, for your rights boy. Don't buy the crap they try to sell you. First they'll take your guns, then they take your rights. This Country's been run by commies, pufters and dykes.
Hey, boy, you boy.
I've had to stop watching the TV. Weatherman on CNN is a spying on me. Secret agents follow me everywhere I go. My phone is being tapped by AZO. You know his government there's a turning fascist whim. It persecutes its peace-loving citizens. They must see me as a threat to be destroyed. Some people are really paranoid. Oh boy, you're the keeper of the flame. I tell you, fight boy, feel rights boy. Don't buy the crap they try to sell you. Forget the olive branch and the white dove. The symbol of peace is the Kalashnikov. I'll keep my guns, oh yes I will. Love the way they look and feel. Love to hold them in my hand. Make me feel like a real big man. Nothing makes me more ecstatic than a semi-automatic. The more I have in my collection, the more enormous my erection. Love to hold 'em, love to shoot 'em. Love 'em so much, I wish I could root 'em. Ah, mein Lieber, I know. You know, guns don't kill people, other people do. If you don't believe me, look at World War II. They say millions of unarmed women and children died. If they'd all had a gun, they'd had a chance to survive. The intellectuals say that's a specious argument. Never understood what specious meant. 'Cause I'm not a smart-ass puff with a college degree. And I don't like clever dicks talking down to me. Oh boy, you're the keeper of the flame. I tell you, fight boy, feel rights boy. Don't buy the crap you tried to sell here. Forget the olive branch and the white dove. The symbol of peace is the Kalashnikov. Guns are safe, but no, no. I keep my guns, oh yes I do. They're designed to kill the true. I just shoot road signs, snakes and vermin. Don't give me your bleeding heart sermons. Now I've heard them bastards say they're gonna take my guns away. They don't come to the senses, you have to bear the consequences. If our harmless toys are banned, rivers of blood will stain this land. President Trump, save us! Guns are safe, guns are okay. Give 'em to your kids on Christmas Day. Give your granny's day a lift. A Magnum 44 is an ideal gift. Guns are bonza, guns are beaut. Easy to use, just aim and shoot. Guns are groovy, guns are trendy. Guns are designed to be user-friendly. Give your granny's day a lift. A Magnum 44 is an ideal gift. Guns are safe, guns are okay. Give 'em to your kids on Christmas Day. Yeah.
Oh, great one, John.
Oh yes. Yes, not your typical sort of Eric Bogle, really, is it, that one? But,
You should hear somebody's moggy.
Yeah, I know that's the one. Yeah. Oh,
and there's the other one I do at Christmas, Santa Bloody Claus. That's yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, that is the end of round one. So if we could kick off with Mike, and then if we can get Ian straight in after Mike, because I want to hear Ian again. So are you okay for that, Ian?
Yeah, but I don't want to put people...
Yeah, you shut up. Shut up. Do as he told. Yeah, I want to hear you, Ian, so we all want to hear you again. So we'll hear from Mike, And I've got to say, Mike, I'm going to empty my bladder. So,
I want to as well, but I can't. So you just sit there.
Right, no, I'm off. I don't know what you're singing, but I know it'll be good. But there'll be a vacant slot where this person is. Okay, leave you to it, Mike.
Okay. This song is called "The Isle of St Helena." It's about Bonaparte's exile on Helena. Now Bo is away from his warring and fighting. He has gone to a place where there's naught can delight him. He may sit now and tell of the sights he has seen, oh, while forlorn he does mourn on the Isle of St Helena. No more on St Cloud will he appear in great splendour, nor step forth from the crowd like the great Alexander. He may look to the east when he thinks on Lucana, with his eyes on the waves that surround St Helena. The wild rushing waves round our shores they're washing, and the white billows heave round our rocks they're lashing. He may look o'er the main to the great Mount Diana, with his eyes on the waves that surround St Helena. Louisa, she weeps from her husband she's parted, and she dreams as she sleeps, and awakes broken-hearted. There's none to console her, though there's many would be with her, while she mourns all alone when she thinks of St Helena. So all you that have wealth, beware of ambition, for there's some twist of fate could soon change your condition. Be steadfast in time, what's to come change you cannot. Maybe your race will end on the Isle of St Helena. Maybe your race will end on the Isle of St Helena.
Very nice.
Thank
Did
you
you
very
miss me?
Thank you.
Look at this. Look, I look 5 pounds thinner now.
You do, yeah. I'll have to do the same.
Right, I see Stuart's not got his guitar strapped on. Are you done for the night, Stuart?
Go on, I'm off.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'm done, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll look forward to you maybe next week.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
Tonight. You've had a tin of Quality Street or something there tonight, have you?
Well,
Hey,
we've had all
mine.
sorts.
This is the second box. By Christmas, it'll reach 6 or 7.
The falling over lotion's kicked in now, John.
Yeah. I see Karen's turned the video off. She must be pretty pissed by now, the way she was. So, what's she like on the boozer, Alice and Dave? What's she like? Is she? We can't hear you. You'll have to unmute. Your mouth's going up and down, but we can't hear you.
Ah, right.
Yes. Yeah, she takes after me, John.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
You like to drink.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
That's it, yes, true. Have you heard of Stone, John? John? Where's Storm? We haven't seen him for 2 weeks.
No, I think he's given up on us.
Oh, right.
He's found pastures new.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
I mean, we might. I don't know. I've no idea. We haven't heard from him.
I wondered if he'd been caught in those storms a few weeks back. I didn't know what part of America he's from.
He's from Massachusetts.
Right.
That's over on the right-hand side, I think.
Right, so that wouldn't be near to those storms.
No, he'd be okay. He wouldn't be in the.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's not down in hurricane country.
John, you know all about Massachusetts, being a dentist.
Oh dear. Right. Okay, I've lost my list. Oh, in fact, you're on now, Davith.
Hi.
Yeah, you're on.
What,
so
right now?
I hope there's no more crap gags like that.
Well, no, there's nothing. No, there's nothing as crap as that. Only more. Okay. Well, I thought after B's poem called "Dad" there, it reminded me immediately of a poem Dylan Thomas wrote a long time ago now, probably about 1950, I suspect, when he lost his dad, and he wrote this poem, which is quite well known, and it goes like this. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learn too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Brave men near death, who see with blinding sight blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage at the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Thank you.
One of my favourites, that. Yeah,
Yes.
always good. Yeah, I intend to rage a little bit.
Oh, good. That'll be fun.
Right, what about B? Have
Oh, no, I haven't got anything ready.
That's okay, that's okay. We'll move on then. We'll move down to Kent, to Ian.
Right, this is an A. Housman poem I've put some chords to. Time I've been by Wenlock town, golden bloom should grow, hawthorn sprinkled up and down, should charge the land with snow. Spring will not wait the loiterer's time, keeps so long away. So others wear the broom and climb the hedgerows heaped with hay. Tarnish late on Wenlock edge, cold that I never see. Lie long high snowdrifts in the hedge that will not shower on me. Spring will not wait the loiterer's time, keeps so long away. So others wear the broom and climb the hedgerows heaped with may. Sprinkled up and down to charge the land with snow. Spring will not wait the loiterer's time, it keeps so long away. So others wear the broom and climb the hedgerows heaped with hay. Time I think by Wenlock town.
Lovely, Ian, lovely. So, have you got a club down there, or?
Yeah, I go to Orpington Folk and Blues.
Are they Zooming?
Yeah, they do a wee bit of that, and then there's another one in Tunbridge Wells way I go to.
Yeah, oh, it's
Doesn't really have a name. It's just a casual one. There's quite a lot around. There's a lot in the southeast London that you can always go to. We're spoilt for choice.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury up here. Unfortunately, we're all getting older as well.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's just a bit.
They all are, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got a few people I know on the Wirral, and everybody says the same. It's just we're gradually dropping out. But rage, rage, rage. Do not go gentle into that night. Right. Phil.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you saw my message, Phil, there, but again,
I did, yeah.
We don't see you all that often, so if you could squeeze 2 out for us, it would be very nice.
2, you only do 2. Oh, no, I'll just do 1. I'll just do 1.
Okay.
Time's getting on a bit. And the other one...
We got oodles up to you.
So I actually changed to do this. Anyway, I'll spread his habit because I'll tell you a story to start with anyway. You know, I live up near the Roman wall. And there's an old farmer lives up behind the wall, actually, up the other side there. And he had a talking dog. And he was up on the wall one day and he says to the dog, Rex, he says, "Gan down there and round up all them yows. And the dog obeyed and herded the sheep down into the stell. A stell's a Northumbrian word for a stone circle, you know, a sheepfold, yeah? I don't know what it is in Welsh. But, anyway, he rounded all the sheep up and put them in the stell, and the dog came rushing back up the hill to his master. He says, "Well done, Rex. Did you count them?" the shepherd asks. And he says, "Wuff, wuff, wuff." He says, "Yes, 40. Wuff, wuff, 40. Wuff." And the shepherd says, "Well, hang on a minute. Are you sure you counted them? Because we've only got 38. And that's a bit odd, isn't it?" And the shepherd he said, "Woof, woof, woof. Master, you told me to round them up." Woof, woof, woof. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, he's just arrived. He just arrived for your encore, right? And I wasn't sure whether I should do this song in a Welsh folk club, but anyway. It's got a good chorus, which goes, "Ba ba ba ba, prancing with ewes, Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba 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 prancing, so he can go prancing, prancing with yows." Uncle Jasper was out till after midnight. When he came home, what a terrible sight. His welly's all muddy and his hat's not quite straight. My Uncle Jasper could prance until light. He goes ba-ba, prancing with yows, Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba-ba-ba prancing, so he can go prancing, He went for a stroll up onto the fell. He happened upon some sheep in a stell. On what happened next, I'd better not dwell. Uncle's shipacity I cannot quell. He goes ba-ba-ba-ba, prancing with yows, Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba-ba-ba prancing, so he can go prancing, prancing with yows. I sent Uncle Jasper to count all our sheep. He got up to 20 and fell fast asleep. The yows settled round him all in a big heap. All that was heard was an occasional bleat. Ba 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 ba. prancing with Yowes. Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba 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 prancing, so he can go prancing, prancing with Yowes. I went to find Jasper at 7 o'clock. I climbed up the stairs and I gave a loud knock. When he opened the door, what a great shock! Jasper was there with the whole of the flock. He goes ba 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 ba, prancing with Yowes. Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba 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 prancing, so he can go prancing, prancing with Yowes. His boisterous behaviour I cannot permit, his sheep prancing antics I've asked him to quit. The shearing this year he'll have to omit. I'll lock him indoors with a jumper to knit, and his ba 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 ba, prancing with Yowes. Herdwicks and Leicesters, Cheviots too. There's nothing on earth Uncle Jasper won't do, so he can go prancing, ba 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 prancing, so he can go prancing, prancing with Yowes.
Well, we are renowned down at the club in Rhyl for the animal impressions.
Yes, I saw some of them actually. They were good. I noticed several people who muted themselves to join in. That was great. Do that more often, perhaps.
We had Kimber's men down a couple of years ago, and they were doing chicken on a raft.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't expecting the whole audience to go "Bwah, bwah, 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 bwah," every time that got mentioned. But they were good lads. They were up for it. They were game. And it's just nice to have a bit of fun. Right. Gwyn. You are unmuted, Gwyn. You are away.
Wonderful. A song I've done before. It's a Mike Heron song, string band song. You Know What You Should Be. Read your book self in another's thoughts. He might tell you about what is, or even what is not. And if he's kind and gentle too, and loves the world a lot, his gentle words will melt the slush of what you have been taught. You know what you could be, tell me my friend, why you worry all the time, what you should be. Listen to the song of life, its rainbow arms can hold you, its purple sounds and crimson shapes gently will enfold you. It passes through a purple glade in quarter tones of lightning. No probabilities are up for sale unless the truths be frightening. You know what you could be, tell me my friend, why you worry all the time, what you shouldn't be. Read your book and lose yourself
in another's thoughts. He might tell you about what is, or even what is not. And if he's kind and gentle too, and loves the world a lot, his gentle words will melt the slush of what you have been taught. You know what you could be. Tell me, my friend, why you worry all the time what you should be.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely there again, Gwen. Lovely.
Old hippies just get bad as they get
I wonder what's happened to John Warburton tonight, talking about old hippies. Sometimes has a bit of a difficulty actually logging on with us. So hopefully he'll be back next week.
I've gone Ethernet. It's solved a whole pile of problems.
We do the same. We've just stick a wire in it.
Yeah,
it seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just coming and going. But in fact, we get very few people actually dropping out these days. I think most people seem to have sorted that out. Right. We are down to the gaffer.
There we are.
There we are. You are up and running, gaffer.
I'm up and running. Well, that's good to hear. We haven't got Storm tonight, so it'll have to be someone else singing the anti-war songs. Fortunately, he didn't get involved with Vietnam, so this is about a completely different war. My mate's barmy wants to join the army, in Afghanistan. It seems to me a pretty bad idea, forging a career in Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate Dafty wants to join the RAF. He wants to join the RAF out in Afghanistan. Folks on the ground there just want to shoot you down there. Don't pay to hang around there in Afghanistan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate's crazy, wants to join the Navy. Wants to join the Navy in Afghanistan. What a notion, haven't got a notion. Bugger all to float on in Afghanistan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate's loopy, wants to be a groupie in Afghanistan. You'll find it hard there, all music has been barred there. The Taliban's the only band, the Taliban's not banned. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate's loopy, wants to be a groupie. I've done that. My mate's loony, he wants to be a moony. He wants to be a moony in Afghanistan. I said, what for there? It's religious nuts galore there. And they don't need any more out in Afghanistan. Oh, sod Afghanistan. I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate's mental with ambitions presidential in Afghanistan. President said aye, they've already had Karzai, and he's the best that money can buy out in Afghani bloody Stan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans. My mate's bonkers, he wants a game of conkers. He wants a game of conkers in Afghanistan. What a crazy wheeze, there ain't no bleeding trees there. They just plant IEDs there in Afghani bloody Stan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Boredom's more exciting than Afghanistan. Oh, sod Afghanistan, I'd sooner die of boredom. Selling pickled onions from refrigerated vans.
I'm guessing that that was Mark Ferris rather than Mr. Bogle.
I think it was, yes.
Yeah.
Was I close enough to the microphone, perhaps?
You were fine. Yes, you were.
I was hoping I was.
Spot on. I think we all heard you.
Rocking.
Yeah.
It took cover at one point.
Right, and it now falls to Chaz and Jan to have to follow that.
Oh dear.
And if I could just give Mike a shout, I don't know if you've seen the chat, Mike, but can you squeeze? Anyway, sorry, carry on, Chaz.
No. The mic is all my wife's.
Oh, even better.
Ah, okay. Well, I thought tonight I'd just go back to my school days and a song that I have memories of singing, a group of us, while doing a folk dance in the school of Steddfod. So it's back to a little bit of Welsh, because we've got to have plenty of Welsh in the folk club, haven't we? And there's a line that repeats all the way through the song. So if anybody wants to join in with that, that's absolutely fine.
What's the line, darling?
The line is Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now.
What's that again, darling?
Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now.
Last time.
Is that Welsh?
Ish.
It doesn't sound in the least bit Welsh.
Nah. Well, it's one of those songs. Actually, I was looking at it, thinking, okay, you like to know the background of these things, and it's described as both traditional, folk, and a nursery rhyme. So take your pick, really, which one you think it is.
It's onomatopoeic.
Maybe. Okay, let's go with this then. Fein da difyr ydyw gweled, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Drws yr efail yn agored, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Ar go bach ei wyneb hirddi, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Yn yr efail yn brysur chwythu, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Fein da difyr hir nos geia, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Mynd i'r efail am y cynta, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Pan bro rhew y geira allan, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Gorau pwynt fydd wrth y pentan, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Fein da braddw sŵn y fegin, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Gwrando chwedl can ag englyn, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Pan fod cwmni yn neuafiaeth, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Ceir hanesion lawer noswaith, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Pan ddaw'r môr I ben y mynydd, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. A'r fwy ymyl at I gilydd, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. A'r coed roses yn dwy'n falan, Miggledy, Maggledy, hey now now. Dyna'r pryd y ceid I finna, Miggledy, Maggledy,
hey now now.
Da iawn.
Oh, there were a lot of people joining in there.
Worked very well. The joining in worked very well, didn't it?
Even the Muppets in our audience can manage that one.
That's it.
More joining in. I was being led to believe you had to mute at all costs, but that worked very well.
Right. Okay. We've been a wee bit short on performance tonight, so Mike's going to squeeze another one in, and then I'll just do a couple to round off, and then we can all go to our beds. So what we got for us now, Mike, having dropped you in it at short notice?
This is a song about the press gangs. It's a cheerful one about a woman who's left behind to pick up the pieces once the press gangs kidnapped her husband. It's called All Things Are Quite Silent. All things are quite silent, all mortals at rest, when me and my true love lay snug in one nest. Then a bold set of ruffians, they entered our cave, and they forced my poor jewel to plough the salt way. I begged hard for my true love as I beg for life, but they'd not list to me, though I a fond wife. Saying the king he'd sailors to the sea he must go, and they left me lamenting in sorrow and woe. Through green fields and meadows we oft-time did walk, and sweet conversation of love we did talk. All the birds in the woodland so sweetly did sing, and the lovely thrushes' voices in the valleys did ring. Although my love's gone, I will not be cast down. Who knows but my sailor may one day return, then he'll make amends for all trouble and strife, and my love and I will be happy for life. All things are quite silent, all mortals at rest, when me and my true love lay snug in one nest. Then a bold set of ruffians, they entered our cave, and they forced my poor jewel to plough the salt way. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very nice, as always, Mike. Oh, right. Okay. Do something a little bit less miserable than that. So, I think they're switching Blackpool lights on this weekend, are they? I saw a bloke on the telly this morning hanging off Blackpool Tower by a piece of wire.
By his neck.
fixing the bulbs. I thought, bloody hell, that's a job and a half. I thought filling teeth were bad. Bus had flat on Blackpool Beach, heading for the tram, feeling nearly washed out by the tide. Rain poured down all day, but we didn't give a damn. We was feeling all flushed up with pride. I'd won a balloon and she'd this fucking great banana, made out of rock with Blackpool wrote all through. We lost all idea of time with my hands in hers and hers in mine. We walked the prom until our bus was due. Freedom just another word for Blackpool for the day. Candy Floss, the tower and the sea. I bought her a double rum and she let me have me way. Blackpool Sands was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Doris McGee. From the bus stop down on Cholton Street all the way to Blackpool prom, me and Doris cuddled on the bus. We paid the fare and then forgot all the world that we came from. No one else existed, only us. Then somewhere north of Wigan, with me hands upon her tits, it mattered that she said that she didn't mind. When we sheltered under Central Pier, I soon got to grips with Doris's fine Lancashire behind. Freedom just another word for Blackpool for the day. Candy Floss, the tower and the sea. I bought her a double rum and she let me have me way. Blackpool Sands was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Doris McGee.
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
That
Who wrote that?
Leslie Barker.
Oh, it's Les Barker.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Oh, that's not what I know of this. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's from a long time ago, I think.
Right. I'll have to look that up.
I can still remember.
For some reason, the little red recording dot started flashing. I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
Oh no, it's okay.
Nope.
It's okay.
I've no idea. It probably means we've got to our 1 gig limit or something, but seeing as we're not going to be using it, I don't think it's going to... No, we've only been going just over 2 and a bit hours. It should be okay. It should be all right.
Cassette's running out.
Right. I'll get Les to put another bob in the meter. This is End of Night song from... It was a common song up in Caithness. I used to live there and work there for a while, up in the wilds, up at Thurso, up on the north coast. And I loved it up there. The job was absolutely bloody awful. We just bored out my skin, just seeing kids all day. But and the pay was lousy. But the travelling and the people up there were wonderful. I just used to drive around between these little schools, which was great. And especially when it was school holidays. You know, happy days. Anyway, this is a song from Caithness that they often use up there to round off the night. Oh, the evenings pass so quickly, the music's almost done. We've heard the piper and the fiddler, the singer and his song. Time has come for us to leave you, one more song before we go. Button up and I be cheery, tack a dram before you go. Button up and I be cheery, tack a dram before you go. For this night we will remember, and the music's been just fine. But the cold great land of Caithness can be cruel and unkind. We must bid farewell and leave you, travel through the ice and snow. Button up and I be cheery, take a dram before you go. Button up, and I be cheery, take a dram before you go. So good night, and God be with you, and watch over you until we can all meet here together, and our glasses we will refill. Drink a toast to absent friends, and make the beer and whiskey flow. Button up, and I be cheery, take a dram before you go. Button up, and I be cheery, take a dram before you go. Just a wee dioch and Doris, we ain't that's all. Wee dioch and Doris, before we gang a while. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee Burton Ben. Zij is een brave groenlicht, merk je al recht je ken. There we are. There we are.
Yeah, that's fab.
Yeah, and take a dram before you go. Well, I won't be having a dram before I go. I've been on the water tonight. Because Leslie's sister's been down here all week, so so I think we've had plenty. But I will be going outside, rain or shine. We've got a little veranda on the building up there, and this week it is it the Macallan? Macallan, 15-year-old. We finished the Jura. It's no use shaking your head, Phil. It's all I've got. It's that and nothing.
No, the Jura is the best.
Yeah, but I got it given, so it tastes even better when you get it given.
That's all right. Freebie, that's mine.
I think we'll be back on the Jura again when that's done.
Well, it's very expensive in Tesco at the moment. I usually buy it when it's on offer.
Oh, I usually just nick it. Yeah. Just put it under the jacket and out you go. No problem. Yeah, pensioner. We live off, what stuff we've thieved and roadkill. The roadkill's been a bit poor really this summer because there's not been many people on the roads, but there we are. Right, so thank you everyone for coming, for joining in, for just sitting there and being patient and for putting up with us. And I know there's some of you not here next week. Chaz and Jan aren't here, Ruth and Andrew aren't here, and hopefully John and Karen will be here, but sober. And might get a bit of a song and a story out of him.
Very, very unlikely. I hope.
Right. Okay. So lovely to see you all, and we'll see you next week.
Well, many thanks for organising it all.
And thanks for coming down again and joining us.
Thanks a lot, John.
Right.
Hey,
did a great job, mate. Well done.
Mary Ellen.
I'll start.
Bye.
Bye.